So that was Donald Trump yesterday arriving in Pennsylvania doing his signature wave to nobody. As we have seen him do in each city in which he arrives, notice there is still no Melania at all by his side. We see Donald Trump spiraling. And after his election rigging scheme in Nebraska went bust, Trump posted a series of bizarre rants on his social media app complaining. And then he took the stage in Pennsylvania, where he rambled, incoherently struggled to form complete sentences, and obsessed over Oprah and other celebrities who he thinks are mean to him. Meanwhile, Vice President Harris is focused on what truly matters, like fighting climate change, lowering costs for working families, and protecting women's rights. I'm going to get into all this, and I'm going to show you some of Trump's craziest posts. First, I need you to hit that subscribe button and hit the like button. It really helps get these videos out as far and wide as possible. Okay, let's dig in. Donald Trump is really upset that his plan to rig the elections in Nebraska has failed. So he posted this. He said, quote, "I would like to thank Governor Jim Pillen of Nebraska for trying to help the Republican Party simplify the complexity of the state's electoral map. It would have been better and far less expensive for everyone. Unfortunately, a Democrat-turned-Republican state senator named Mike McDonald decided for no reason whatsoever to get in the way of a great Republican common-sense victory." Just another quote. Grandstander who knows perhaps one of the other two Republicans that were a no vote will change their minds in the meantime. Thank you to Governor Pillen and Omaha Mayor Gene Stowe. I always preferred a winner take all allocation of Nebraska's electoral votes for their hard work and effort. I love Ohm. I won it in 2016. Looks like I'll have to do it again. And Donald Trump is referring to this last-minute effort by his campaign to have Nebraska change how it allocates its electoral college vote that failed yesterday as a key GOP state senator refused to go along with Donald Trump's plan. This close to the election, State Senator Mike McDonald put his foot down, and he said, quote, "After deep consideration, it is clear to me that right now, 42 days from Election Day, is not the moment to make this change." McDonald had been considered the key vote needed to pass this bill, and Nebraska is one of two states, Maine being the other, that does not do a voter-take-all allocation. It also divides it up by individual congressional districts, one of which includes Omaha, and often goes Democratic, and is expected to this election if Donald Trump was able to change this law to a voter-take-all allocation and win the state of Nebraska. What could happen is Vice President VP Harris could win Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. And it could still be 269 to 269 in the Electoral College and ultimately be decided by Congress. This was a scenario that the Trump campaign was potentially hoping for. Let's see what Donald Trump is also fixated on something. He's been fixated on for days and days and days VP Harris working at McDonald's when she was younger. Donald Trump writes, "VP Harris should take down and disavow all of her statements that she worked for McDonald's. These statements go back a long way and were also used openly throughout the campaign. Until she got caught, she must apologize to the American people for lying." I mean, first off, she's not lying. People don't put their McDonald's experience on their resume to become a prosecutor. And the nerve of Donald Trump to say that somebody needs to apologize to the American people for lying. Like, look in a mirror, man. Donald Trump is also trying to stop Americans from voting because Nebraska effort failed. Donald specifically, our military. Donald Trump wants to prevent our military and their spouses from voting. Donald Trump wrote, "The Democrats are talking about how they're working so hard to get millions of votes from Americans living overseas. Actually, they are getting ready to cheat. They're going to use UOCAVA to get ballots, a program that emails ballots overseas without any citizenship check or verification of identity whatsoever. Foreign interference. Remember, they say we have the most secure elections in history, and anyone could get a ballot emailed to them. They want to dilute the true vote of our beautiful military and their families, who Comrade Kamala has totally disrespected and abandoned. Republicans must act to stop them from stealing our military votes. Watch. Remember, if you vote illegally, you're going to jail. As with everything Donald Trump says, this is more projection. Donald Trump here is trying to stop our military from voting. He is trying to disenfranchise them. Let me show you what the Uniformed and Overseas Citizens Absentee Voting Act is. This is what Donald Trump is criticizing. This is an act that outlines how our military overseas and their families are able to vote via absentee ballots. Donald Trump wants this eliminated. Apparently, Donald Trump also posted this photograph of VP Harris smiling. I don't know what this is about. And Donald Trump held his rally in Indiana, Pennsylvania yesterday, where he started bragging about the stock market being at a high, saying it's because everyone thinks he's going to win the election. And then he says, look, it's Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam is here, pointing to someone in the crowd. Check this out.
A lot of people say the only reason the stock market's high is everyone thinks I'm going to win the election. I believe that's true. A lot of the biggest, smartest. Uncle Sam, look, it's Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam is here. Do you agree with that?
Well, hypothetically, Donald, say you had a stock that had your name on it, and say the stock market, the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, say they were all hitting record highs, hypothetically speaking, right? Hypothetically, that stock with your name on it would be absolutely soaring right now if it's all because of you, right? Obviously, this is not a hypothetical. Let's take a look at the Trump Media and Technology Group stock, ticker DJT, which is down 28.3% in the past 5 days and has been sinking lower and lower each day, closing out the day yesterday at just $125. That stock is taking an absolute hammering. We look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is at record highs. We look at the S&P 500, which is at record highs. Meanwhile, Donald Trump just continues to gaffe and have these just really bizarre cognitive moments during this rally. Like I said earlier, it was hard to even follow what he was saying at times. So here he was trying to attack Vice President Harris by saying that she can't speak, and then he kind of gets tripped over his own words here. Check this out.
How dishonest was ABC? It was 3-on-1. How about this David Muir and the other woman I never heard of? I didn't know. How the hell did she get there? I never heard of her. She had the other interview with the other guy who was a nice guy, I think, from Philadelphia, from Pennsylvania. And he was a nice guy who was asking her all these, they don't take like I do. Anybody who wants to go, what the hell difference does it make? They have, and how dishonest was ABC? It was 3-on.
I mean, if you have any idea what he said at all, you could let me know in the comments. I legitimately have no clue. Donald Trump continues to be haunted by the debate against Vice President Harris. He can't get it out of his head. I think it's going to haunt him for the rest of his life. And speaking on the debate, Donald Trump said that anybody that thinks crime is going down is a serious brain problem. Watch, Donald Trump's serious brain problem here.
Anybody that thinks crime is going down is a serious brain problem.
Then Donald Trump yells at the crowd that they need to get their husbands the hell off the couch. Is this directed at J.D. Vance?
We have to win Pennsylvania. Go out and make a plan to vote early, vote absentee, or vote in person on election day, but you got to get out and vote. You got to say to your husband, Harry, get the hell off that couch. Gets out Oprah Winfrey, who I used to know well. She used to love me until I decided to run for politics. Oh, let's go to Mar-a-Lago, Donald. I love the place so much. No, she used to love me, but once I ran for politics, that was the end of that, and that was okay with me. I couldn't care less because We got to make our country great again. We're going to make it great again, greater than ever before.
Then he complains about The Tonight Show.
It was like 2015, thinking about running. I was going to run. I went on his show, right? And he goes, The Tonight Show, which is dying. They're all dying. Where's Johnny Carson? Bring back Johnny. It made you appreciate, right, Uncle Sam?
Then he complains about Jimmy Kimmel.
And ABC is dying. He was the worst host in the history of the Academy Awards. Remember I did that? Remember I wrote I put a truth. Everybody should go to Truth immediately. And by the way, we also love Elon, I have to tell you. Gave me a big endorsement, big one. But remember in the Academy Awards, I said how he's the worst host in the history of the Academy Awards. And this stupid guy goes up, and just before the Best Picture of the Year, the show is almost over. They're waiting for the Best Picture of the Year. He gets up and he says, and his wife said, please don't do it. Please, darling, don't go out. His manager said, don't do it. I have to do it. He goes out and reads my truth to the entire audience right before the best prime time, the Best Picture. And it said basically, he is the worst host in the history. He reads the whole thing. And then I think he said something like, ha, 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 he thinks he bothers me or some crap like that. I said, he's one of the dumbest human beings ever. He should have listened to his wife. What a dope. But
then this was a particularly heinous moment during this rally where Donald Trump says, do you think Springfield, being Springfield, Ohio, will ever be the same? You have to get them the hell out. You have to get them the hell out. Saying that he wants to deport the legal Haitian migrants who live there, based on the lies spread by him. And J.D. Vance the crowd, then chant back, send them back.
With left-wing nonprofits to inundate Pennsylvania communities, changing the character of small towns and villages all over our country and changing them forever. They will never be the same. They will never be. Do you think Springfield will ever be the same? I don't think. The fact is, and I'll say it now, you have to get them the hell out. You have to get them out. I'm sorry. To get them out. Can't have it. Can't have it. They've destroyed it. It's terrible. It's terrible to say, and it's...
That's just flat out gross. That's an American. These are legal immigrants who came to this town because they were begged to come to this town because this town was failing. They had no workers, and these migrants came. They took the jobs, and they literally saved the economy. And this is how they're being treated by Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and this MAGA ecosystem. It's just a disgrace. It's so disgusting. Meanwhile, Donald Trump then went out to supermarkets and started interacting with voters. At this one point, he was caught on camera, literally handing cash out to voters. Watch this.
Here, it's going to go down a little bit. It just went down $100. We'll do that for you from the White House, all right?
Thank you.
All right, bye. Nice seeing you, everybody. Beautiful.
Did you notice how he just kind of chucked the money at her? Like he refused to even touch her hand. He was grossed out by her. I think that also speaks volumes. And then Donald Trump was there with Walt Nell E.O.A., his co-conspirator in the documents case in Mar-a-Lago. And he basically made Walt out to the popcorn boy. He threw popcorn at him. Watch this.
It's the biggest celebrity you're going to have to let me know about. Come on. Thank you, everybody. We're going to see you people at 7 o'clock, I think, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Then you have Vice President Harris speaking about the actual issues that impact people's lives. Vice President Harris tweeted, quote, "Our young leaders have grown up only knowing the climate crisis. They know what is at stake for their future as president. I will tackle the climate crisis with bold action to build a clean energy economy, advance environmental justice, and increase resilience to climate disasters." You don't need me to remind you on this, but Donald Trump thinks the climate crisis is a hoax. He thinks it's all fake, and he has secret meetings with billionaire oil lobbyists begging them to give him money so that he could bail out the oil and gas industry. That's a pretty Stark comparison between the two candidates here. VP Harris also writing, Donald Trump wants to impose a Trump sales tax on everyday basic necessities. It will cost the average American family nearly $4,000 a year. My plan would build an opportunity economy puts workers and families first. So Americans cannot just get by, but get ahead. And you don't have to just believe Vice President Harris when she says that Donald Trump yesterday at a roundtable in Pennsylvania spoke about his tariff proposals and said that he would even push them through without Congress. He says he could just basically, like a dictator, impose it by himself. Watch.
Thank you, Mr. President. Taylor Poplar from Spectrum News. I've spoken with some economists about your proposal for tariffs, and they say they don't see how it will not make items cost more in the United States.
Oh, they'll approve it. They'll approve it. And number one, I don't need them. I don't need Congress, but they'll approve it. I have the right to impose them myself if they don't.
And as Jeff Stein of the Washington Post points out about Donald Trump's comments, Trump has proposed tariffs as high as 20% on all $3 trillion of annual imports to the United States. It could be as high as a $5 trillion tax hike. So there you have it, folks. On the one hand, you have the Trump tax. On the other hand, you have Vice President Harris trying to actually lower costs for the American families. That's the latest update we got for you. Donald Trump continues to spiral. He continues to hyperfixate on these celebrities. And oh, this person's mean to me. And let me ramble about me, my problems. He just continues to concoct these various schemes to try to disenfranchise American voters. But folks, democracy is winning thanks to you. And to keep democracy winning, make sure you share these messages. Remember to hit subscribe on this video, hit the like button, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of this report. I love reading all your comments, and I respond to as many as I can remember to subscribe. Do you want to see more of those? I certainly do. And until next time, I'll see you soon.